and welcome to the 5th Mike Dolbear Web Show. Today we have Brent Heng, Yard, The Stick and more. Special guests today we have TV personality, ex-Premier League footballer and creator of the Tube, Dion Dublin.
How are you, Jill? Today I'm on, but you've got a proper drumming legend. Mr. Phil Gould.
Wow.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome. Thank you very much. Where have you been?
You know, here, there, everywhere.
Working.
Yeah.
Well,
Working harder than you.
it looks like it. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Jill. Great intro. What a sofa I've got today. Look at this. Phil Gould, level 42, and a gentleman that I grew up idolising. I must say that, you know, your playing was a big thing for me when I grew up. And Dion Dublin, ex-Premiership footballer, TV presenter. I didn't grow up idolising you.
No, you
I'm
didn't.
sorry, no.
Thank you.
But we're here today to talk about some music, and thank you guys for turning up today.
No pleasure.
So, Phil, let's start with you. So let me talk about this.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Okay, second album, Level 42, The
seen that
Pursuit
waistline in a
of
while.
Accidents. I was going to say, who are these young lads on the back? That's
This is my surfer days.
Which one is you, Phil? Point out, Phil. Which one's Phil? The handsome one.
handsome
Look at the
one.
front.
Well, this was back in '82. Okay,
Yeah, jeez.
and this after this album, Level 42 changed direction, if you like. You were an instrumental funk band from the Isle of Wight, and it did change direction. Can you tell me why and what happened?
Didn't really completely, because the first album was an independent release and it was eventually called The Early Tapes. It came out after our first official release, but that had 3 songs on it and 5 instrumentals. The first official album had 5 songs and 3 instrumentals. That's got 6 songs and 2 instrumentals. So it was kind of dwindling. You know?
Okay.
And there's on the album we went to. After that, we got this opportunity to go to LA with the Earth, Wind & Fire guys. And there was one track that was going to be an instrumental on that, but then it became kind of a song, you know. So we and then that was it for the instrumentals.
How did it change? What made you go from instrumental to more vocals?
Well, the thing is, when Andy Soiker, the guy from Elite, came in one day, we were rehearsing at Mike's college, we were just jamming, and my brother worked for a record company, and I knew this guy was releasing 12 inches from his record shop in North London, Elite Records. Amazing guy, and he's sadly no longer with us. But he came down, and I borrowed some money, hired a rehearsal room, and he came down here with this track and said, I really like that, why don't you put a top line on it and the lyrics and see if we'll record it. So we did that, you know. And then we went to the studio, really weird way to start a band. Went to the studio, did this rhythm track, thinking we would get a singer on this track. And at the end of the day, we all had to go singing it. I was horrendous.
Right, okay.
My brother was less horrendous. Mike, being a composition degree student, very special, incredible musician, sounded really good, but maybe not the strongest voice. And Mark sang it and sounded really good. And so he put it down. We released it, like 3,000 copies pressed, a 12-inch. Sold those, got a license to Polydor, sold 70,000 copies in the South, and got a 5-album deal.
Yeah.
So, you know, Mark goes from being a drummer, because he's supposed to be a drummer.
That's right.
to be a
He's
single
supposed
bass
to be.
player.
you use that term loosely, do you?
He was an amazing drummer,
Yeah.
and we grew up together, playing together, because I played a bit of keyboards, he played bass, so we could kind of play together, but we both knew when we got to London, he was going to go off and be a drummer, and I was going to be a drummer. That was it, you know. And then he becomes a singing bass player. So it was quite a weird way to start a band. And when I tell that I don't even want to mention that to young musicians now, because the idea of getting a 5-album deal on the back of one song.
Yes.
And we had 3 options. We're definitely going to make 3 albums, absolutely going to make 3 albums with 2 options, you know. This just doesn't happen.
So after this album, the third, I think you did one more album with the guys, Level 42.
No, we did 6
okay.
albums together, because that was the second album. Then we went to America with, you know, Larry Dunn and Verdi and White from Earth, Wind & Fire, who were incredible. Had this incredible experience in Los Angeles. I mean, you know, just bring up Lewis Johnson sadly died yesterday.
Right,
and we met him in the car park. Can you imagine, like, a couple of guys from the Isle of Wight, a week from the Isle of Wight, meeting George Duke and Lewis Johnson, who we idolised, you know. And we met Stanley. It's incredible. But Lewis was amazing, sweet guy, amazing bass player, one of the great bass players, you know, off the wall and everything. And even Airto and everybody, you know. But so we went there, and that's when it got serious about writing songs, you know.
Right.
But even then, with the Chinese Way on that album was like a last-minute addition. We just bacon-saving track. It was like the last day, and the lyrics are pretty shambolic, but I had 3 hours to write them. And then we had, like, on the next album, we had The Sun Goes Down, which was the last-minute edition, and that was the hit. And then Hot Water was a jam that we edited the last minute. We just scraped our way through with these hits that kept us going. And then on the 5th album, World Machine, we wrote a song called Something About It, which was a genuine hit. We kind of worked out by then how to write songs, you know.
Wow.
So we were kind of heading towards the song thing, and I was actually pushing that myself because I was really into lyrics, and I was kind of pushing that direction.
So because you wrote a lot of the lyrics as well, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot of them. My brother did as well.
Okay, Dion. So, a professional footballer for however many years, 25 years.
Some say professional, some say try.
Okay, well, you know, I saw you play, so.
Oh dear.
But how did you get into music? Why did music become such a big part?
Music was in the family and has been for years. I've got 3 brothers and a sister, mum and dad. Everybody plays a musical instrument, drums, guitar, bass. Dad still plays bass now in a band. Sister played keyboards, so it's always been about. And on a Sunday afternoon in Leicester at my parents' house, it was just full of musicians. Fantastic. There was a jam, there was people playing cards and dominoes. So it was like an open house on a lovely summer's day. It'd just be full of musicians. And I'd be there thinking, I wish I could play that, I wish I could. And then I ended up just tapping things and loving rhythm and rudiments and making noise on the door frames and on dustbins and tearing a dustbin over and getting involved. And since that day, I think it's just inbred in me. You know, while I was playing football, I think my music love and passion was like sort of stagnant, really. And now I've been retired for 7 years. It's having a chance to come out.
Wow. Well, I know both of you have also been big endorsees of Young Drum of the Year. And in fact, we're gonna watch a video of 2015's final this year. So we're gonna watch a video of Young Drum of the Year. Great. So, you know, some people criticise Young Drum of the Year or events like that, competitions, if you like. I like to use that term loosely. Do you think it's important to have events like this?
Absolutely, Mike. If you don't have things like Drum of the Year, how are you going to know who's out there? Some people, some young musicians will slip through the net. It's the same as anything, footballers. If you don't have any trials for footballers, how are they going to know they're good enough to play the game of football or to play the drums? You've got to give them the chance, you've got to give them the opportunities, the platforms to move forward. You know, musicians want to be footballers and footballers want to be musicians. That's how it works. And with me now being around it and meeting guys like you, I realise how hard it is to get into music, and it's even harder staying in music. It's the same as football. So that's why I support the Young Drum of the Year, and you get to see some unbelievable talent at, you know, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. And they're playing the drums like they're playing all year.
What do you think?
Well, I sort of feel 2 ways about it. One is a lot of people deny the fact that music is a very competitive world. You know, a lot of people say, hey, it's about peace and love and spirituality. I've done festivals. Which it is.
I love you.
It is all those things. But I've played in, the greatest moment level 42 was headlining Glastonbury. And if we didn't arrive on stage on a Sunday night in Glastonbury and I don't mean to say this in a horrible way, but if we weren't the peak moment and we didn't blow everybody else off, what the hell were we doing then? You know? And that's competitive. You hear, it was a madness, somebody read, you hear them, you want to go out and, you know, it's in you to do well, you know. So that's the great thing about these sort of events, but it's also, I think the best thing about it, when I did it with you a couple of years ago, was like there's a community feel about the drumming community, which I don't see that in the guitar world or piano world, you know, but there's something really cool about that. So as long as kids bear in mind, it's not when they arrive and become the young drummer of the year, or they're in the final, that's not it. You know,
No,
that's
there's
not,
a long way to
they've
go.
not finished.
Yeah.
But you know, it's again, parallels, because my job was to play football. It's standards, you know. You get to where you write on the dotted line. You're a professional drummer or whatever it may be, footballer. Then you've got to earn the right.
Yeah.
That's what it's. You've got to earn the right to play at a certain standard.
Yeah.
You know, when you sign as a professional drummer at 16, like Phil says, it doesn't mean you're going to go and play with the Stones or Level 42.
No.
You know, you've got to earn the right. Find your way in. Learn, watch, listen. That's how it works in football as well. You can't go and play in the first team because you're not good enough. Pick up traits. You know, watch people, listen to teachers, listen to the best in the world. Then you can start to build your own repertoire up and become an individual.
So let's go back to your football stroke music, as you just said. There's a lot of musicians, footballers that I know play musical instruments. Some play drums.
Some play badly, Mike, to be
Yeah,
fair.
okay.
I've heard a few, to be fair, Mike.
Are we talking about football or are we talking about drums? Okay. But obviously you had a great career, and I think Sir Alex at Manchester United encouraged you all to play musical instruments.
Yeah, because we had so much time, Mike. So much time on our hands. Sir Alex signed me in 94, sorry. And it was a great opportunity for me to sign for Manchester United. But we had so much time on our hands. Finished training at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. What were we going to do? He would send the class of 92, the Giggs and the Beckhams and all that. They had to go on cookery courses and, you know, media courses.
Great.
That's why they done so well. Yeah. You know, they were looked after. They said, I wanted to play the sax. I broke my leg at Manchester United on my Old Trafford debut. I wanted to play music, so I took up the sax. And a lot of other players took up the drums.
Yeah.
Ian Wright took the saxophone up.
Right.
Frank Sinclair, drums. Peter Cech plays drums.
Yeah.
Peter Schmeichel is a very, very good drummer. Yeah. Very, very good pianist as well. So I think the people who wanted to use their time wisely would go and, you know, learn an instrument or something.
That's great. Like you said, it's funny how many footballers want to be professional musicians, and all musicians want to be professional footballers.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, that environment, because, like, you know, as a footballer, you go in front of, Old Trafford, even then it would be like
50,000. It was,
50,000. And it's like, I went to a few football grounds, and I don't think I saw you play, but I did go to Man U around that sort of time. And to think you've got to go out every week, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do, like either put the ball in the back and it'll stop a goal or something, or contribute to something, you get booed. Yeah. Or you don't get to play next week. Musicians don't have to. The worst that can happen to us is like if you don't play that great, you come back the next. People aren't going to boo you if you get a
but you must have done
role,
festivals when they didn't want you on the bit. I've been to festivals when I've seen bands be bottled off the stage. Well, so at least they don't throw bottles at you. I'm not
going to the same festivals as you, by the way.
Actually, we did get booed off stage once. We supported the police, and the first night we came out, they thought it was the police, and it was us. And we did actually we didn't leave the stage, but we had things flying and hit off the cymbals. So I know what that's like.
Phil, where did you go? You disappeared from us after the Level 42. I know you're back out there and active again now, but what happened? Where did you go?
I was quite active for the first 10 years. It's a long time. But I was writing a lot of stuff. I had a publishing deal, and it just didn't feel right. I was trying to. It was a new world of sampling, and I just didn't sort of fit in. I did a few tracks like that. I did work with Steve White and something. Yeah. But then we went to Dorset in '97. Into the middle of the woods and raised kids.
Hang on, not you and Steve White. I just want to make that quite clear.
I'm the best man at his wedding, but that's as far as. But like I was writing, and then just time went on, and then I divorced, and then I had the kids with me, and it was life just could take a different route, and you just got to go with it, And then I moved back to London in 2010, and just picked it up again, But I've got I play the piano. I've got iPhones and computers full of bits of ideas and finished songs and.
Well, I'm pleased.
I've always been creative, but
I'm pleased you're back.
Yeah, and it's nice to be back. And you and Ash and Jeremy and Carl Brazil, particularly these three, you four actually, the reason why I'm kind of active as a drummer again.
Wow, I don't think so. I think you're active as a drummer because you. Well, but got something there.
You had me do that show, but it's going to really help me kind of like, oh yeah. This is cool, Because I was thinking about being a songwriter, maybe.
Well, I say, Phil, I spoke to Carl last night, and he's saying, make sure you say, he's my inspiration, about you. That's what Carl told me to tell you today, and he wanted to say, on the show.
Okay, so Dion,
yes, sir.
How did you get into the percussion world? How did you develop the djube? Why did you develop the djube?
Well, I just found myself tapping a lot of things in the house, as I mentioned earlier, annoying my family, annoying my mum, getting sticks and hitting whatever I could to make rudiments and rhythms and stuff. After training one day at Norwich, I decided to go right instead of going left to my flat. I went right. I went to a very well-known hardware store, got 6 pieces of wood, hammer and nails, and I built a box. Right. Just a square box. And started hitting it, got lots of cuts and bruises through it, which I didn't mind. And built it in the flat, played it, listened to it. I thought to myself, that doesn't sound too bad. I can use it for myself. And I can get a lot of pleasure out of making rhythms just on my own, which is what I like to do. And then I invited my brother, bass player, brother, guitarist, and Eddie, my other brother, the drummer. And we jammed in this flat. And then I had it made in Norwich, had it made in Birmingham, and so on and so forth. And now it's being made professionally. Great. Okay. Jill, over to you.
Right, so now it's time to cut away to our favourite resident, which is Yard. Yard, what do you have for us today?
Hi Mike and Jill. Today our episode of Yard's Yard comes from the Royal Albert Hall for a run of shows with Eric Clapton with Steve Gadd on drums, and this is the cockpit of the world's favourite drummer. Right, firstly we have a custom made vintage drum yard stick table which holds Steve's charts, his brushes and his sticks. And then from there we go on to his favourite set of hi-hats, some A Customs, with a Custom bottom hat with 6 rivets. And then we have a Custom 15-inch cymbal with 6 rivets again, 8 rivets actually. And then a K Custom Dark Crash. And then we have Steve's drums, which are all SG 30th anniversary, made in Japan. And we have his 14x5 steel snare, his 12-inch tom, 13-inch tom. He's got a 14-inch floor tom and a 16-inch floor tom, both on legs, which is a change from his usual stand mounted. And then we have another custom stick table on this side with his timer metronome, which I operate, his set list and his double pedals. And then we have a beautiful 20-inch classic orchestral ride cymbal, and then a 20-inch K Zildjian Constantinople, which he also uses as a ride. And then to finish that off, we have a K Dark Crash fin. Beautiful cymbals, all made by the Zildjian company. And he's got a 22-inch bass drum. All heads are coated ambassadors, top and bottom. And the snare bottom is a Diplomat Rezo, has always been, and nothing changes, everything stays the same. And that is me from Yard's Yard at the Royal Albert Hall.
Thank you very much, Yard.
Right, you ready? So here we are. Now it's time for the stick. We're going to get him to play a couple of things for you to listen to. So we're going to start off with kit A is a cocktail kit, and kit B is, it's more a traditional kit, but it comes in smaller sizes. So I'm going to ask Stick to play kit A for me, please. So it's kit A. Just wait for Stick to move over to kit B, and so this is going to be kit B. Right, so which one did you prefer? What did you like about the sounds? What did you like differently, not so much?
Oh, interesting.
I would go with the first one because it didn't. The second one sounded like the high ends sounded a lot harsher on snare. It sounded like more brittle somehow. The first one sounded kind of a more rounder sound, and the snare was kind of really quite cool, I thought, and the toms are really cool. I mean, I think I'd go with that first one.
First one, Dion?
I'm gonna go with the professional, because if I say B, I'm gonna look so stupid.
No,
You don't need to say anything to look stupid. You're fine. Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry
You'll
about
be
that.
fine.
I thought that I did like the cymbals in the second kit.
The cymbal's not included on this one.
Oh, they're not?
No, so it's just the drums.
I have to buy their own cymbals.
You have to buy your own cymbals.
Dear me.
Yeah.
It's quite tight on this show. I'm going to go for B.
You're going to go to B?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask now for our little helpers to help move to reveal what the kits are. Okay, you can now have a look. Reveal.
All right.
So kit A is a Tama cocktail kit. It has a 16-inch bass, 12-inch snare, and a 10 and 14-inch toms. It has been designed to be highly portable and very compact, and the whole kit can be packed down into 2 bags. The second one is a Sonar Martini Kit. It features a 14-inch bass, 12-inch snare, and an 8 and 13-inch toms. It is also intended to be portable.
I knew all that.
Yeah.
I knew all that.
Wow.
Cool. This looks really cool. This Tama kit here. Looks
What is that? Is that like a drum, like a kick drum underneath it?
Yeah, the bass drum pedal goes up underneath it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Is the stick?
Yeah, you're more interested in the stick. Yeah.
Is it like a lefty? Is he a lefty and a righty? Even though I've got a left.
No,
Right.
I think that's just the way that the Tama kit comes with the hi-hat over there.
Is the stick allowed to point at the one he likes, or not?
Well, I guess no.
I didn't think he had opinions.
No,
I
he
just
said
think
no.
he liked to play.
He doesn't have an opinion. But if he places himself any closer to that logo behind him, it looks like he's got a full head of hair.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Brent, let's come over to Gibraltar's Brent's Hang. And what have you got for us today?
Hey, Mike and Jill. It's great to see you guys. Thanks for having me on the show. Matt Sorum. So that's a name we all know. I had the pleasure of being able to sit down and have a little chat with him at his recording studio in Hollywood, and we were talking drums, we were talking touring, we were talking the Gibraltar G-Class pedal. I'm here in Drac Studios visiting the one and only Matt Sorum, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this guy's played with everybody. Guns N' Roses, The Cult, Velvet Revolver, and his new band, Kings of Chaos. I mean, the dude's got it going on.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh, wow, what a setup.
So I want to get your opinion on the G-Class pedal, because I know you've played a lot of gear over your career. Yeah. And how would you compare it to other pedals that you've played?
Oh, it's the best pedal I've ever played. I'm so in love with it. The whole idea of the weights and the beater. I love that. I took them out of the box and I played them at a show without even trying them. I just got them out. I played this show at the Avalon, like 1,000 people, pretty big gig. I'm like, I put them on at sound check. I'm like, I'm in. And it was killer, and I had them on both kick drums, and they were really even. They showed up out of the box really even, and it just felt like part of my foot, It wasn't like I wasn't struggling with any is the spring too tight? And it was really easy adjustment. I did a couple of quick little adjustments, really easy to adjust. And I did mess with the weights a little bit. You can take out in the beaters, you can adjust with the weights. You can take one weight out. I don't know the exact weight of each.
3 grams.
3 grams.
Yeah.
3 grams. There you go. So I took like 3 grams out and I kicked it. I'm like, feels pretty good. And I took another 3 grams. You can do. I think it's 5 altogether.
There's 3 in each beater.
3 in each beater. Yeah. Okay. So 3 in each beater. So I got 9 grams in there. All together, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. But I realized that I liked it pretty much full out most of the time. And the left beater, I think I ended up with 2 because I wanted it to be a little. I don't know. I couldn't. I'm still playing with it. Which is cool, because that's like the rest of the stuff. Toy around with it. Depending on the gig, if you're on a lighter gig, maybe you want a little lighter. I don't know. Pedal board feels nice too. Because I've struggled with that. I've always been, if it's a little slippery, or the little, guys put stuff on them, like skateboard, And it just seemed to feel really good.
Now, do you play barefoot or you play?
Lately, I've been playing barefoot.
Oh, okay. So you don't cut the shit out of your foot on this.
Well, like I said, I'm a wacky dude. I mean, back in Guns N' Roses, I used to play with biker boots on.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, hey, I'm gonna play in my bare feet. I'm always changing. because I'm always looking, even as much and as long as I've been playing, I'm always looking for that extra little bit of something. You know, I have all the series, but I'm obviously using the Pro Series for my live gig. But really cool. And the hi-hat stand too. It's the G Series hi-hat stand, right? Super cool, especially for double kick. You have the, you know, the legs that move, you know, the two double legs.
Right.
Then you have the extra.
The little kickstand?
The kickstand is always cool, because, you know, it's always a little bit suspect. Like, way, but you got this kickstand thing, gives you a little extra support.
Right.
Especially if you're a rocker. I mean, you ask any rock drummer that really, you can be fine at sound check, and then on the gig, you're throwing down a little harder than you think, because naturally,
adrenaline's flowing.
The audience is there. This stuff's got to be tight, man. It's got to be. You got to be ready for the assault. You know, the guys that hit and play hard. You know, one drummer could sit on that kit and nothing would move at all. You get another hard-hitting guy sitting down, and got to make sure you have that stability. You know, so I love that about the Gibraltar stuff that I've been using, and love it, and everything's been great. So really, really happy. We thought like all these bands had pinball machines, you know, like Kiss and the Rolling Stones. And remember those games, the older ones? So we were like, whoa, we don't have our own game. So Slash went to Chicago and sat with these guys and invented this machine.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Brent. Okay, show and tell, which is becoming a very popular part of the show. So,
Such a
and I'm always
challenge now.
it is a challenge, and I'm always a little bit scared what they're going to show me,
I'm
to be honest.
I'm wondering one day someone will sit down and go, so I know this guy showed this, but I'm going to raise it with this.
Wow.
That's what I'm expecting, yeah.
Phil, what have you got for us?
Well, having moved house and doing some stuff, I found this, which is. So I don't have any discs on my wall. I having worked with those amazing guys in LA, Vadine, that's amazing man. But his house, being in the Beverly Hills and a very successful American musician, was just full of all this stuff. And I swore that I'd never have a disc on a wall, because I found it was a little bit of a front actually. But this is the one thing I do have on the piano, which is kind of an ASCAP award for one of the songs we wrote, which was played a lot that year, and also got an ASCAP award for one of the songs of the year as a writer, which is kind of what I'm really proud about. You know,
Right.
It's great to have success, but when you know people are listening to music, your music, even the idea that you could be in a band and be listened to.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, when you're 17, it's just like, you know, Dion playing Man United. It's just you've got to be kidding me, kind of thing. But actually, to have a record that people genuinely relate to, and then like it's played a lot, and particularly in America, because we all love America, you know, was a really big thing. So I have that around.
Something About You as well.
Yeah, Something About You, which was written by the entire band. You know, the idea originated by me and Mike, and then Mark did that, and Wally did that. So I'm very proud of the fact that the most enduring song was a real collective level 42 piece. It wasn't me or Mark or something, and it was a great moment, you know, to have. So as inspiration, and it's all beat up, and I had to glue it back together. And I kind of like the fact that it's just kind of weathered the storms of maybe 3 house moves and things.
See, I had no choice when I was younger but to listen to Level 42.
Right.
Because my brother had all the albums, loved the way you played, loved Mark King, snapping the bass and all the, you know, the solos, and that was one of the tracks I had to listen to over and over.
So you know, so if I got you to sing it.
Oh, listen, get me a mic.
You've got a mic. Okay, Dion, what have you got to show us?
I've got something. Unfortunately, it's away from music.
Okay.
I have brought along.
Wow.
Oh my God.
My very first England cap in 97, 98.
Was you born?
Played for England.
Yes, I was born.
Okay, just
Were
checking.
you born? Yes.
Yes, I was at least 10 by that point.
3U.
Yeah.
And this is what you get.
So you get like the old.
Yeah, you get yourself an actual cap. A little bit of a tassel.
Have they changed at all?
I don't think they have. Of course you can, sir. Of course you can.
Jesus.
So yeah, that's what you get. But when I walked out for my country at Wembley, 95,000 people there. Number 9 on my back, and the 3 lines. Amazing. Right. And when you turn as a professional footballer, that's all you want to do. Yeah. That's your big goal. Yeah. Be a professional, play for your country, and I was very fortunate to do it.
You still got the shirt?
Still got the shirt in glass.
Wow.
In my house.
You didn't want to swap that with anybody?
No, I thought I'd keep that one.
Yeah.
I'll keep that one. And the other thing is this. This is the back in '92 when I signed for Man United again. Won the Premier League, very fortunately, and I got one of the trophies. And this is one of the very first
cool.
Premier League trophies In fact, I think there's only 60 of these that have been made, because after 92, 93, they started to do the little round little medals.
I was going to say, was it like the medals or
something?
something?
The little sort of flat medal that you get. And I think this is one of 60.
I prefer that.
This is one
that
of 60.
feels more...
I think they stopped it because it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
So that's got my name on it, 92, 93, and yeah, things like this. That's why I
feel incredibly emotional.
And do you have these displayed, or are you a bit like Phil? And,
these are in a safe. These are in a safe.
They're in the safe.
They're in a safe, locked away.
Yeah.
Not
in Hatton Garden, hopefully.
No. They're in your house, actually. Nobody knows. So yeah, they're the two things that I hold very close to my heart.
Brilliant, excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay.
So, news time. So the big news this time around is of B.B. King, sadly passed away at the age of 89. I've got to get that right because I said it wrong. I think my dyslexia got the better of me. But he sadly passed away at the age of 89. Obviously, he lived a very big life. I definitely think young musicians for the future to come will still learn so much from his music and what he brought from just everything he did. But I then was doing a bit of research on him, and I found out that his actual name is Riley B. King, meaning B.B. King was introduced as he was a player. And I wanted to see if anyone in the couch actually knew what the BB and B.B. King stood for.
No, actually, hold it a sec.
Don't pull out your phone.
No, I did.
Cheater.
No, go on.
Okay, so when he worked with WDIA as a singer and disc jockey, he gained the name Beale Street Blues Boy, which was later shortened to Blues Boy and finally BB, and it was there that he then first met T-Bone Walker, which he then went and did play for. And that's how he got the name. So it's all because he was a disc jockey, and then it kind of...
You know, back in the day, there was so many names like that, weren't there? You know, Lockjaw.
Yeah.
There was Lockjaw, and there was my favourite saxophonist of all time is a guy called Eddie Vinson. But Eddie Vinson had shaved his head, so they called him Eddie Cleanhead Vinson.
Right.
And Eddie Vinson and Michael Jordan are the reason why I shaved my head.
Not because of me?
No, not because of you.
I'd like to say yes. I'd like to say yes, right, but just a little bit later on.
So the other thing I want to bring up is obviously Pete Lockett was on the show a couple of episodes ago, and he brought up his book that it's a novel, it's a different, completely not real, not an autobiography, completely came out of his own head, which I've been reading, which is very interesting.
Came out of Pete's head?
Yep, came out of
Pete's
head.
Wow.
That's how I believe it. So I then thought it'd be interesting to see what other creative ways, your outlets you guys have. Obviously, Dion, you've got your little Christmas CD.
Yeah, the Christmas CD.
You know, and particularly for you being a footballer, and then you've got your own music sort of side of it. Like I have my own other areas apart from music, and I was interested to see what you guys did, or as other ways of expressing yourself, because clearly Pete's gone and expressed himself in his own book.
Well, I mean, because this just occurred to me because like we had this little chat before, but like I wrote a kind of treatment for a film about 10 years ago based on a dream. It's called 4.5. It's a crazy dream, and it would take too long to even go anywhere. But it was really kind of it was one of those dreams. It's so realistic that that's like you live that, you know. And we did a whole thing with all these characters. And as a guy I'm working with, Guy Press, who's this filmmaker, who's about to make a film in Ireland, and we talked about doing a treatment for this idea. So maybe because I'm very very impressed with Pete for doing that.
Yeah.
And believe me, it's very it's very interesting but very bizarre. Like I really would love to have a conversation with him on how he actually developed the story that I'm currently reading.
Well, to be honest with you, after seeing Pete's show and tell, anything goes on in that head.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, you've got to see the show.
Okay.
Dion.
I don't get a lot of time. I do a bit of presenting, and my football takes a lot of time as well. I do a lot of motivational speaking for young footballers, or footballers at 15 and 16 that want to know what it takes to go the distance. I have a 22-year career. They want to know what it takes. Setbacks, how do you deal with them? The money side of things, wrong influences in and around you that want to just tag onto your name and your hopeful career. So yeah, I try and steer them in the right way, and I get a lot out of that, actually, taking the time just to give that a little bit back.
Oh, cool. I think mine's probably maybe my fitness, although it's not. It's a different format, but I need that time to switch off from everything else I do.
Well, I know you said to me that's when you do your thinking of when you need to come up with things.
I've called you so many times, and I can't talk. I'm running. You're always out running or in the gym.
Well, not always, but
He's always
my times.
run done.
But it's for me. It's for me, that's when my ideas come and I feel, and I'm on my own. I don't know why I answer the phone to you, to be honest, because I don't answer the phone to anybody normally.
I think I've got the wrong number.
Okay, maybe. Great. Okay, excellent. Now, I want to do this section now where use it or lose it. Now, this section is I'm going to show you something, and I'd like you to see if you would use it in your day-to-day job or take it home or etc. etc. And I've got something slightly different for you today. We've got this new board game for drummers that's just come out here by Rock Science. Okay, it's called Drum Trivia Game, and here we go. So it's like Trivial Pursuit, but obviously for drummers. And I thought instead of we'd start off by maybe asking a few questions. Okay, so here's a question for you regarding Steve Gadd.
Legend.
So it says poser, fan, or scientist. Well, you're definitely not a poser. Okay, you are a fan, but I know you know the answer. So I'm going to go for the scientist, which is the tricky one.
Right, okay.
Gadd played on a 2000 album by Eric Clapton and B.B. King. What is the name of that album?
Riding with the King?
Woo! Very good.
Okay, it's a stato.
Oh, here we go. Here's one for you.
Go on then.
See how good you
Go on
are.
then.
Level 42.
Oh,
Okay,
thank you. Thanks for that pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure's on. I should know this. I did say that my brother had all the albums. Okay,
Yeah, here we
on,
go.
on.
What's the name of the first album that Level 42 brought out?
Oh, level 42.
Yes! Well done!
Level 42.
Well
That's
done.
it. That's it. Yes. That's
Do you
it,
want
that's
one?
the
No.
You don't want a
Level
question?
42.
Okay.
Actually, there was a Max Roach one there. I could probably answer that. I know a bit about Max
Well,
Roach.
there's a lot here now. So anyway, guys, would you take this home and have it with a glass of wine and play a
Play it
game
with
of
your
a few-
friends?
Play it with your friends.
I don't think so. I mean, I used to play board games. You know, when I was a kid, it was like we didn't actually have a TV until I was 15. It was amazing.
Right.
So that's what we did as a family.
So it's put you off for life.
But I don't think I'd do it now. Because
Okay.
I don't think I could even remotely interest any one of my kids in this.
Okay, but you couldn't get Jeremy Stacey and
couldn't get
Ash
Jeremy.
and all the guys round to play.
That would be a laugh, wouldn't it? That would be fun to get a bunch of drummers around and do it on camera.
I think that's the
and see what
idea. Well, yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, you'd get that, you know, Phil and the lads would get it, and they'd be asking, you get questions asked on yourself.
Yeah.
It's all about your band,
Yeah, like
Ash's
this,
band.
yeah.
Yeah. I think you'd get away with giving this to people that are not musos.
Right, okay.
So they can, you know, learn something new. I think that's the best thing to do. If you give it to you guys like Phil, they're going to go, oh, that's level 42. Oh,
Probably a
that's
good
Ash.
Christmas present, actually.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I feel
nice.
quite pleased that we're in it.
Good idea.
Yeah, nice package. And
Nice, yeah, it's a fine thing. You know, I think it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it's
but
an idea.
okay,
I've
well,
been working for ages.
guys, Jill, thank you very much. Thank you for everyone that's shown up. I guess we're going to have to play out with you, the expert, the creator of Playing the Jube. So, Jill, would you like to play us out?
Of course, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for today's show. We'll see you here next time. Thanks to my guests, Dion Dublin, Phil Gould, Jill Bennett. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Thank you. Woo! Yes!